Snow White Christmas. A Snow White Christmas.
Hey everyone, it's Jonathan and welcome back to Christmas in July. Today we're talking about A Snow White Christmas, the 1980 animated special, not the 2018 rom-com of the same name. Joining me today are Jenna and Mark, and just a peek behind the curtains here. Today we're talking about the Filmation Christmas special, and I often record more than one podcast in the same session, and when we recorded this one we decided to do 2 Filmation episodes at once because I was also planning to cover their other Snow White film, Happily Ever After, for a future miniseries. The only problem was, as much as we tried to make 2 separate episodes, there is a lot that we couldn't help but compare between the two, so we ended up referencing Happily Ever After several times in this episode. I just wanted to mention that up front because that episode will likely not be out for a couple of months, so I guess just consider this a teaser for that one. But today we're talking about this odd, very random holiday special, A Snow White Christmas, which unfortunately for me is, so far, one of the most boring things I've covered for this princess series. But thankfully that opinion was not shared by everyone. I always feel bad when it seems like we're dogpiling on something, so I was glad to have Jenna here as a cheerleader for this odd little forgotten Christmas special from the 80s.
A Snow White Christmas. A Snow White Christmas.
Well, I'm going to try and talk about these separately because they're going to be 2 different episodes, one for Christmas in July and one for a future series. But it's going to be hard in some ways because I want to compare some of the things in them.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that there's a lot to compare. I thought you put them together on purpose.
Well, I sort of did, but I don't know. For now, the main thing that I want to say in both of these, and maybe you guys will feel differently, but this, I knew these weren't going to be great, but I feel like they both commit the same movie sin in that they're not that great and they're also boring.
See, I have interesting opinions, but if we're doing it separately, then I think I'll reserve my opinions for the different individual cases.
Yeah, I think, for me, I've always grown up knowing about Happily Ever After. It was that cult movie that, animation nerds watched or they've heard of. So, I didn't really know much about it, but I kind of expected it to be a little better than what it was. So, but yeah, that was definitely...
It was somehow... I'm similar. I did not grow up with it Happily Ever After. Yeah. I'd heard about it. I heard other people who'd grown up with it, but... At the same time, I never heard anything good about it to make me want to watch it, and I feel now it's kind of justified. So, yeah.
Well, what about A Snow White Christmas? We'll do that one first, since that will be the first one out. Had you even heard about this? Because I had never heard of this until I started researching for this podcast.
I never heard of it until you sent me the link.
I had heard of it before, strangely, but only in a very I don't know, distant way. I hadn't actually heard of it. I just heard someone mention it before. It might have even been you, Jonathan. I don't know.
I don't know. The only reason that I knew about this one is because I had decided that I wanted to do some Christmas versions. Well, maybe I had found it during a different time because I've thought about doing Christmas versions of different stories in years past. So I might have found it a while ago and forgotten. But I found it again this time looking for different versions of the princess stories to do for Christmas in July. And actually, weirdly, there are at least 3 different productions with the exact same title, A Snow White Christmas. One of them I don't think is available to watch online. It was a theatrical production. It's like a British pantomime. So that one's not available. But there's also a rom-com called A Snow White Christmas that I'm going to be doing with somebody else for Christmas in July also.
Yeah, I think I saw that when I was looking up A Snow White Christmas. I was like, oh wait, this isn't the one he's talking about.
Yeah, there's another one with a similar title. I can't think of exactly what it's called, but it's another Christmas-themed Snow White story. But I think that one's closer to the original fairy tale. So it's what is it about Snow White that makes people want to do Christmas versions of this story?
Maybe it's the Snow White part, snow.
Maybe.
Yeah. You could stretch that the most. No one thinks of a Christmas Cinderella movie.
I mean, there are Christmas Cinderella movies. I did one.
Okay, I take it back.
Another rom-com made by the same people who did the Snow White Christmas one. I
Mm.
think there's another one too, but like as far as I can tell right now, they're the most like direct Snow White movies that are Chris or princess movies that are Christmas themed is Snow White. The Cinderella one, they're all. I think there's a few made by Hallmark, but they're all like only the vaguest connections to the fairy tale, from what I can tell.
Yeah, they're probably more there just for the title.
Probably.
Mm.
But it's just so weird to me that there's so many Snow White Christmas movies.
I guess like if it's like a before and after, like how Jenna was saying, it's like a before and after, and like Wheel of Fortune, it's a white Christmas, so Snow White Christmas and Snow White.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. That's my assumption. They're just like, hey, it's kind of a double thing.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems weird that I found so many of these. Like, not that there's like hundreds or anything, but
Of a Snow White
a
Christmas.
handful is a weird
It
amount.
was the Bing Crosby's version that we never heard.
Yeah, the draft version.
Draft.
Well, this one, at least to me, this one was really boring. Like, I was so bored watching this.
So this one actually, it was the opposite for me. I was not expecting this. I thought if anything, like Happily Ever After would be the more interesting one to me. Oh, I'm sorry, we're not supposed to talk about it together.
I mean, you can. It's fine. It's
Yeah.
going to be hard to not because we won't. Like, we can
Let
compare
me.
them. That just the people listening just know that I guess the part two will be coming in a couple months, probably.
Okay, I mean, I could do a soundbite without it just in case, but yeah, I was expecting this one to be the really boring one, and I was shocked to find that actually I was really invested because I was like, let's see, I wrote a note. I was like, I'm not even like 10 minutes in, and I'm already like, what the heck is happening? I was like,
Well, I was too, but I was also
yeah.
kind of bored.
No, I don't know. I just got really interested at that point. I was just like, what are they doing? Where's this gonna go? I don't know. I guess the bar was on the floor and
Yeah, that
looking
does
across
help.
yeah. So I was just like, I wasn't expecting it to have a solid plot at all. I thought it was gonna be, I mean, I guess in a way, obviously it is making up a plot that doesn't really have, much to do with the original, but I thought it was actually pretty interesting what they did with it. So that's my takeaway.
Yeah, for me, I think I was. I mean, I was like Jonathan. Like I don't want to say bored, but I mean, that probably describes it. I wasn't super interested in either of the two. But at least with the Snow White Christmas, once I saw the animation style, like I kind of knew what I was getting into. So like, it was exactly what I pictured it was gonna be. Whereas Happily Ever After, being like a full length film, I kind of was expecting more. Again, also because the name Happily Ever After has just been in like my memory for so long, especially in the animation sphere and movie sphere. So like I just kind of expected. I wasn't expecting it to be good, but like I was just expecting it to be even better than what it was.
Okay, so I'm gonna be Snow White Christmas Defender in this. All right, I
Hey,
gotcha.
it was like
That's fine. It needs somebody.
yeah, Jenna, was it you who we did the what was it, the Alice in Wonderland Christmas thing with?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. So I
Oh
remember,
yeah,
I remember you didn't like that one, and I was the defender of that. So it's like we're
yeah,
switched
yeah,
now.
yeah. We're switched now. Yeah, took me a moment to be like, oh yeah, I put that out of my memory because
I'm sorry.
yeah, no, it's fine. It's not that bad actually. Um, but yeah, I this one, yeah, it's also Christmas related. How funny is that? Um,
There we go. How the turntables.
but yeah, I am pretty much like I don't know. Bar was on the floor. Happily Ever After comparison, the bar was still on the floor, but it was just a little bit more propped up. Yeah, so I don't know. I was just expecting absolute trash. I've seen television animation specials before,
Yeah,
so I was impressed. I guess.
it had that like Rankin Bass kind of feel to me, like not the not stop motion, but like
See, that's
that
funny.
was
I'm
fun.
like, yeah, I know which one you're talking about,
Hmm.
but I'm like, I feel like Rankin Bass is worse than what
Hmm.
this was usually. I don't know.
I don't have much experience with them, so I can't say.
I think what has happened is that your expectations were so low that it helped. And for whatever reason, I was expecting this to be better than it was, so maybe my expectations were just too high.
What? You were actually
Maybe.
thinking this was a competent movie. How dare you?
I'm not that. It's just like I I don't know. I just expected it to be better than it was. Like I expected it to be like cheaply made, but I expected the story to be more engaging. But it just was kind of meandering. Like they just
But
See,
kept
this is
doing
where I
things.
disagree. I actually thought the story was really well done. I, well, at least
Jenna's
like,
got her defender hat on. I love
yeah, I
this.
do. I was like, I feel like they actually kind of just some. I will say there are some like plot points where it's like, what the heck are you talking about? So um, I definitely, if this was an actual movie, I would have been like, go back to the drawing board, at some points. Like, what the heck is a Christmas castle? Stuff like that. Um,
It's
but
a repurposed evil castle.
yeah, evidently. But she doesn't know it's a evil castle. She just thinks it's a abandoned castle. But but so there's some stuff where I'd be like, go back to the drawing board. That doesn't make sense. But I feel like it actually like comes up with kind of I don't know if I want to say organic, but I was strangely kind of impressed with what they did with the evil witch coming back or evil queen. I was kind of impressed what they did with the giants.
Mm.
I don't know. I was just like kind of I dig this. I think interesting things going on. Yeah. So should we go point by point or
Well, sorry,
I
before we get there, I don't know
yeah.
if you guys mentioned this or not, so I apologize if you did, but
Go
did
ahead.
you guys watch the Christmas one first and then Happily Ever After, or did you watch Happily Ever After first?
I
I watched the
watched the
Christmas
Christmas
one
one first.
first.
Okay.
Oh,
I wa
fun.
I watched Happily Ever After first and then the Christmas one.
Yeah,
So that might play a part in our expectations, maybe.
maybe. Yeah, I might have maybe after the Christmas one, I thought it was strangely good, and I was like, maybe happily ever after would be good. Um, but I wasn't, to be honest, I wasn't expecting much of it either because I haven't heard anyone sing this movie's that film's praises.
I heard anyone sing any of the
Yeah,
songs.
I've only the most I've seen people be like, I watched this movie when I was a kid, and I
Yeah.
know that's not always a litmus test for how good a movie is.
Mhm.
But continuing on, I actually have never met anyone who said they watched this Christmas special.
I haven't either, which I guess should have been a clue that it may not be that great. Because, like, I hear people talk about Happily Ever After. Like, that one is one of those cult classic ones.
Well, I think it might be an age gap kind of thing because I feel like I don't know when you guys were born, but as a millennial, I feel like a lot of millennials care a lot more about animation movies for children than other groups of people. So I don't know if the kids who would have grown up with So White Christmas would be online talking about it. I don't know.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, because
Um,
it is significantly older.
yeah.
I think it could also be, do we know how often they reran Snow White Christmas? Or was
Oh
it like
yeah, compared to
they just did it like one year and that was it?
yeah, Happily Ever After was like direct to video, right? So video. Was it
No,
direct
I
to
think
Was
video?
it
it?
went
I
to
think it went to
theater.
theaters, yeah.
Did it go to theaters? Okay, well it
Um, I
came
think it
out
was
on
one of the
video. I
few
know that.
Filmation theatrical movies.
Yeah. Well, it came out on video, so people were able to
Yeah,
rewatch it. But did Snow
exactly,
White
yeah.
Christmas ever come out on video? I doubt it. It's the same company, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, same
Filmation.
Filmation,
Yeah.
yeah. That's probably the animation studio I know the least about.
Yeah, I don't know that much about Filmation.
I just know that they don't exist anymore, and I've done several of their titles for every version ever.
Yeah.
I think the main thing that I can say about this one that I liked was the Evil Queen. I liked her, and I liked not exactly her because it wasn't much of a relationship with the vultures, but I liked the way she hated the vultures, like the one scene where she like zaps at them and knocks part of her castle out. That cracked me up. That was probably the only time I actually genuinely laughed at this movie.
I was so confused because like we see the queen can transform, so like she transforms into this rat and it gets into the house. I don't know why she didn't transform back into the queen while in the house to kill Snow White and the other guy instead of trying to still be a rat and kill them that way. I would think that's a lot much harder.
I thought that with a lot of things in this. There were so many easier ways.
Yeah, I would say that is kind of one of the things where it's like if this was like a film,
Yeah.
I'd be go back to the drawing board and explain why
Hmm.
that can happen. But yeah, I did think that was one of the more interesting parts of the movie was like basically giving her more tense like in the original fairy tale.
Hmm.
But I think explaining her powers would have done a bit better here. Like maybe something like she could only do like one major transformation a day or something. So that's why, or
She used up her transformation for day.
yeah, something. Um, but they didn't. So it just comes across as like, okay, why don't you just solve the problem right
Yeah.
now?
Because the script has 20 minutes more.
Yeah.
I think one thing I like, if I have to use the word like, but if I liked anything about this film, about this short, is I like the concept that this princess is not the Snow White. Her mother is the real Snow White, and her dad
See,
is the
that was
charming.
what I put on here. I was like, Snow White has. I didn't initially catch that it was Snow
Yeah.
White's daughter. So I
hmm
wrote, Snow White has white hair. And another point, Snow White has loving parents. Oh, Snow White is the mom, and this is her daughter, also Snow White.
Yeah. Yeah. It took me
This is
it took me a
the
bit to
realization I had while watching.
because like when they're saying what they're grateful for, the dad says, "I'm grateful for like having two Snow Whites," and like that line just went over my head. I didn't really think anything. I didn't really know what he meant, and then it took a while. Oh, that's what he meant. There are
Yeah,
two of you.
but it's kind of weird that this. I guess that is supposed to tell you what's going on, but I feel like the special just kind of like starts you cold, and you're supposed to know that. And I'm like, how would I know that? Maybe if I read the TV guide at the time. I don't know.
Oh, TV guide.
Yeah, the old TV guide, they give you a little summary of what you were going to
Yeah,
watch, right? I guess they do eventually tell you, but it's like you're
yeah.
already kind of getting into it. It's weird.
It's not as clear as it could be,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Also, can I just say, what was the dwarf or proto dwarf with her, the psychic Grunion or whatever?
What
I
a
forget his name.
name!
Yeah,
Poor guy.
he was so weird. I will say, like, this is also a point where I'd be like, go back to the drawing board. What's his point?
That's what I wanted
Yeah.
to know.
Yeah, like he's completely useless, and it doesn't even seem like Snow White likes him.
He's just there. For the
Yeah,
whole movie, he's just there. By the end of the movie, I was like, okay, is he going to be the one to kiss her and make her wake up? But then he wasn't, and I was like, well, then what was the point?
Yeah, I thought they would go that way too.
I noted that she didn't. Snow White. So Granion shares his Christmas stocking trauma with her, and he just ignores it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
noticed
whatever.
that too.
Yeah, I was like, wow, do you even like him, Snow White? Like, you don't care.
What was this again?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I forget exactly. I just wrote Christmas stocking trauma, but I think
Okay.
he
They
said
were talking
something
about Christmas stockings,
there was
and
a hole in
yeah.
his stocking, and all his treats came out, so he didn't have any Christmas stocking
Oh
treats.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, trauma. It's very deep trauma, and
Yes,
she's
yes.
just like, whatever. I have more important
What
things to
ifs?
think about. Yeah, I'm just like, do you like your friend? And then there was another point shortly after that. So he does that whole thing where he makes everybody laugh with that incident, and her parents are like, "Oh, he's brought us the gift of laughter," and Snow White's like, "Yeah, whatever. What I want for a gift." So I was just like, she's not even her friend. She doesn't care about him. Anyway,
Yeah, I was kind of say I was gonna say like, was he meant to just be comic relief? And if so, like he really sucks at it.
yeah. Well, it's like, can't he be comic relief and her friend at the same time?
Yeah.
Can that coexist, please? It almost makes me kind of wonder if they just put him in later or something, so that maybe they didn't have enough lines of her referring to him. I don't know. It's weird.
I thought he was going to end up being one of the original seven dwarves, or
I
related
thought
to
he was
them
going to end up
somehow.
being like one of the Seven Dwarfs' kids or something, but apparently not.
Oh wow,
He's
I can't imagine the Seven Dwarfs having kids.
hey, I mean,
But
they
no,
have
I
to
mean,
exist
hey,
somehow.
you're right. Unless, well, no, in Once Upon a Time they have eggs, from what I remember.
What?
What?
Yeah. One of the episodes of Once Upon a Time, they were talking about like how the dwarfs came to be. From what I remember, I think they hatched out of eggs or like or chrysalises, one of the two.
Are you
And they
talking
just
about the
came out
That
as
sounds
ABC show?
awful.
yeah, they just came out as like old dwarf men.
Oh, wow.
See, this
That
is
was
why I get avowed once upon a time. It's stupid.
yeah, that was the origin of dwarfs. So they can't be lying.
We've been talking about doing that show at some point for the podcast.
Yeah, we have, and to be honest, I'm still avoiding it as much as
It's
I
a
can.
it's a lot. Like you'll have to do like
I'd
at least
rather watch
season by
I
season.
rather watch all Descendants media before I watch Once Upon a Time.
Oh, that's harsh.
You know, well, I used to like it, and then it went off the rails, and I was like, never mind, I don't like it anymore.
Oh,
I didn't even
yeah.
finish the first season, and I thought it went off the rails.
Oh yeah. If you thought the first season was off the rails, like it just gets more off
Part of
the
the
rails.
problem was I hated the kid, so that
I
didn't help me
hated
at
Oh.
all.
I hated the Alice Wonderland episode. That was off the rails to me. I was like, no, screw this. I hate this.
Well, then they made that Once Upon a Time in Wonderland spin-off, which kind of
I know.
ignores
I
everything
watched
they
the first
mentioned.
episode of that, and it was awful, and I hated it.
Nice.
Yeah, a genie. Anyway, moving back to this. Um, yeah. So it's right, Ryan. I don't get the point of Grunion.
He's probably just there because somebody thought of the word grunion and was like, I need to use this somehow. I know, let's put in a dumb dwarf.
Sounds like onion rings, like a onion ring chip.
I thought it sounded like
Garlic onion
bunion,
ring.
like the foot
Yeah, I was
problem.
thinking Bunyan too.
But yeah, I thought it was interesting to do like a Snow White daughter thing
Yeah,
because
like I've never seen that before.
yeah, I thought that was interesting. Essentially, it does come across as weird if Snow White does all of this again, essentially, basically. But
But
I
with
thought
giants this time.
yeah, with Giants this time. But what I thought made it really, really interesting is I don't know how intended this was, but it kind of brings across the theme of sheltering your kids and not warning them because there are incidents that this is an incident that could have, well, not maybe avoided, but could have been mitigated a bit if Snow White the child knew about the evil the evil queen, but they decided not to tell her to keep her sheltered. Like if she had known, she could have ran immediately. For instance,
Mm.
I mean that ended up working out for her in the end, but she was just standing there like confused and shocked, which I don't blame her too much. I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. I wasn't sure if it was intended to be a theme.
That is interesting, but I have a feeling that, like a lot of things that we talk about on this podcast, you put more thought into it than the people who wrote it.
Yeah, I mean, they probably would have dug into that a little bit more if that was actually an intentional theme.
Yeah.
But this kind of thing, where if it was a movie, I feel like this would actually be brought up, and I like that theme. I don't think it's addressed enough.
It probably would be brought up more if it were made closer to modern day. I don't think that's something they were thinking about in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a theme we don't see very often in children's media, so I would like to see it more often. Especially, I feel like a lot of parents do fall in the trap of overprotecting their children to the extent of making them vulnerable.
Yeah.
I can't read my writing anymore.
I'm trying to think what happened. What else happened in the short?
I literally, I did not watch this that long ago. Most of it I have forgotten. I'm having to go over my notes because I was so bored while watching it. It's already left my mind.
I will say one really strange thing about this special is that they make the connection for Snow White to somehow take place in Noel, a kingdom that seems very Christmas themed, and they just kind of expect you to go along with it, which I don't know, just is odd.
I just wondered through the whole thing, what was the point of making this a Christmas special? I think
Yeah,
the clue is something that I saw written on Wikipedia about the production, where they decided on the format of Christmas special because apparently it was easy to sell a Christmas special at that time. So
That
the
makes sense.
Christmas angle is
yeah, it
just
makes
kind
sense.
of forced in.
Okay.
This became Christmas out of necessity. Or capitalism, I guess.
Yeah.
Capital. But yeah, thinking about it, just growing up, I used to watch Cartoon Network, and they would show like the worst Christmas specials, like a lot of amazing ones, but also the worst. It is a moneymaker. You just make one to come out,
Mm-hmm.
and you get royalties every year. That's basically why they did Rhapsody Street Kids Christmas special.
Oh wow,
Um,
yes.
yeah, that was the only one that didn't get replayed. I wonder how long this one was replayed for. I don't know.
If it was.
Yeah, I feel like The thing is, like when you're watching it, I actually feel like it evokes more 60s and 70s than it does the 80s. So I wonder if it would have aged out pretty quickly.
Well, it was released in 1980, so it was made in the 70s.
Yeah, looking at it, I'm reminded more of Hanna-Barbera animation from the
Yeah, it has that
60s.
limited animation style, kind
Yeah.
of.
Yeah. So it would be a surprise to me if this continued that much longer into the 80s being rerun. But I don't know. That might be part of why it hasn't lived on that well.
Probably.
Okay, and then another point I want to make is your weird decree.
I was like,
So
what is this? What is the point of this? I don't understand.
yeah, going back to the gift she wants, which I was like, darn, you're spoiled when she said that. But then it's like, oh no, she wants to make a decree. Okay, so her dad decrees happiness for the people of Noel, which I'm like, wow, you could just do that.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, you could just be like, you're happy now. I said so. But she wants to do that for the children of Noel because apparently they don't count. It's,
The dad's decrees only give happiness to the adults. The children get nothing.
yeah, which I'm like, okay, wait a second. Okay, first off, you could just decree that. Um, I have to assume, for the sake of sanity, that it's actually to decree happiness means that you put on events or something, or you give gifts or something the king actually does. But then to further continue on that, be like, but he doesn't do anything for the kids. Like, who cares about them, right? Is really weird. Like, and in her decree to decree happiness for children for Christmas or whatever, the Christmas castle, I wrote, is the obvious solution. Like, you know, how, 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 and for anyone, if for some reason you haven't watched this yet, but yet you're listening to this, the Christmas castle that she suggests, it's basically an abandoned castle that used to be the evil queen's that she's recommending to make over into Christmas castle. And her parents are like, oh, okay, we were not going to tell you the history behind this castle because we want to shelter her, yada yada. So I would say like this is the point where I'd be like, I think you need to go back to the drawing board for this. You're acting like these are obvious connections and they don't make sense. But I don't know. I just feel like Snow White comes off as a brat during this. I don't know why.
I don't know. I don't
Maybe,
think I didn't really get
yeah,
that.
I don't
Yeah, you
know.
talk about Snow White, the princess, right?
Snow White the princess. I don't know.
Yeah.
She just feels a bit bratty. Maybe to me it's because she's just coming out of nowhere when they're talking about Grunion giving the gift of happiness. She's like, yeah, who cares about him? Here's the gift I want. I want to decree happiness for children. Like, okay. I don't know. I'm just saying, it doesn't really make sense.
I don't think I got brat vibes off of her. I didn't understand why she wanted to do this. So I don't know. I just thought like for every criticism that I had of this movie, it all just comes down to the writing. I thought the story was weird. So I wasn't thinking
Yeah.
about her attitude at all.
I don't know. It just feels kind of forced, I guess, because they want to bring up the castle, which I don't really think is that relevant, really. Like, they don't even end up really trying to change. Now, that would have been interesting, like, in the midst of her trying to remodel the castle, they somehow awoken the evil queen. That would actually be kind of interesting.
It could have been.
Um,
I think there are a lot of interesting pieces of an idea in this,
yeah,
but it was very rushed and just written weirdly. Like none of it really made a ton of sense to me. It's just a bunch of
yeah.
things happened.
Yeah, like okay, so I would say so the way the Evil Queen gets released is the sun reflecting through the crystal umbrella that they have for some reason. Which are like
Again,
crystal
something just
umbrella,
happens.
cool, melting, not cool. It unleashes the stuff. Because I was like, that's a pretty design, but why do they have an umbrella? It's cold and snowy. Kind of weird. So yeah, that's how she melts, and it's kind of dumb. Again, it would have made more sense while remodeling the Christmas castle. It does kind of make me wonder if that was maybe the original plot, but they decided to just cut out the Christmas castle part to make it easier. I don't know. The magic mirror design is kind of interesting, but the mask
Oh
inside
yeah.
is definitely a Disney ripoff.
That's what I thought too.
Oh, I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, there were a few scenes or a few clips where I was like, "This is very Disney-esque." Like the Evil Queen coming down the staircase and the bookcase, the cauldron just felt very Disney-esque.
The vultures
Um,
too.
yeah, the vultures as well.
There was like at least online, everybody talking about the Filmation Snow White, like specifically Happily Ever After, talking about it being a Disney ripoff. I almost feel like this felt more Disney ripoff than Happily Ever After did.
Yeah, I got that
Yeah,
feeling.
Like, and this really, the bulk of it did not feel like Disney at all. But just like the details that felt like Disney felt more directly Disney than the details in Happily Ever After.
yeah, I have to agree with that.
Guess they figured they knew which parts, people would more remember or like be more familiar with. I guess Disney's Snow White was probably the only. Was there any famous Snow White film adaptation between these two?
I mean, I'm sure there have been attempts, but not that I know of that were like
Yeah.
famous.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything that was like super famous between the
Yeah,
30s
between
and the 80s. Like
yeah.
there are some, but I don't think
Mhm.
there's any that really have stood the test of time.
Or like left an impact or something.
Yeah. The main one that I'm thinking of is like a German one that I think got an American dub, which I
Hmm.
haven't seen that one yet, but that one is on my list to do at some point for the podcast.
Oh, never heard of it. So I guess continuing on. So the evil queen summons a wind that ruins the festival, and she praises the parrots. Snow White, the child, and Grungin are able to escape, and they end up in a giant land where it's not snowy for some reason. And yeah, these are basically rip-offs. Well, okay, not direct, but very inspired by the Disney dwarfs.
Yes.
Especially the grumpy one.
The idea that they're like cousins. They said they're cousins, right?
Yes, they did. That was so weird.
Yeah,
It's like, why are
which is
they
funny.
cousins to dwarves? They're two
Yeah,
completely different species.
I mean, I guess it's
Hey, all
funny.
species are cousins in that case, I guess.
I guess we need like the fairy tale evolutionary line between dwarves and giants. Some point they had some sort of a common ancestor.
You never know.
There was a very tall dwarf one day,
Yeah,
or a very short giant. That's
I will
that's
say
where
though
it.
that
But
oh
sorry, go
yeah, no, you're right. It could have been a tall dwarf and a short giant. Yeah,
ahead.
but I will say like the compared to Happily Ever After, I do feel like these made at least more like comical sense to be cousins of the dwarfs because at least it's like, huh,
Yeah,
how did that happen? There's a bit of humor in it, whereas the
The
dwarf films that
Dwarfells.
Happily Ever After are just boring.
yeah, kind
Like
of.
yeah, so for me in my book, this is a point towards Snow White Christmas. At least it's a humorous like what. But that's not neither of these stories do a very good job at explaining, justifying these cousins' existence in the story.
No. I feel not I feel like this movie comes up way too often, but I feel the same way about these characters and the dwarf elves as I do of the 7 characters in Wish.
Oh, I forgot that was a
Oh
thing.
wow,
Like they're
that's
just
dark,
there.
man.
They're just there for no reason. They're just there because
You're right.
they're there.
I
I try
feel
to
like
forget
these
Wish.
guys have more purpose in this story than the 7 characters in Wish, whose names I don't even remember.
I forgot they existed.
I love the grumpy ripoff. What's his name? I love him so much. Ronnie.
Yeah, he was
Ronnie.
good.
Yeah, he was the MVP. He was amazing. I'm gonna sing this Giant's praises. So like, he does the whole like I'm grumpy, I don't like anyone thing, but then like he's super sweet
He
all the
takes care of
freaking
her the
time.
most. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was so sweet where he was like everyone's stupid. It's like oh where should go to sleep, and he's like for God's sakes I gotta pretend to I don't want to be woken up by this clock, which is like the perfect house size for her, right? So I'm putting all the it's unwounded. You can't. All right, it's just for me not to wake up. All right, see ya. Like,
I'll be honest, that went over my head until they actually decided to live in the house. Like, okay, that's why he did
oh yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. It was 100% on purpose.
I also wasn't like fully paying attention to, so that could be it
Yeah,
too.
and then later, he's the one who makes all the like tough decisions too about
Mhm.
like essentially taking care of her. And then it's so sweet where he's like at the end It's like, I thought you were dead, so I made the castle, but it's only because I thought you were dead.
Yeah.
He's,
My bad.
yeah, he's wonderful. I'm like, I would take Ronnie in anything, please. He's fantastic.
Those type of characters usually even fun.
Yeah. All the other characters all the other cousins, giant cousins, are okay. No, I say that, but I don't even remember them. I remember the one that's like fussy and kind of a neat freak because he's the first one they come across, but I don't even remember his name.
The one I remember is the one with hiccups because he was annoying and his name was Hicker. I was like, what is this? Is this like the Sneezy ripoff, but more annoying?
But didn't he cause an avalanche?
Or an earthquake or something. He caused some sort of a disaster with his hiccups.
Yeah. The one I remember most is, well, not most, but the other one I remember is the nerdy one, I guess, the one with the glasses. Who knows?
Oh yeah, he was like second best. He's the Doc ripoff. Yeah. He was also like one of the more helpful ones.
Mm-hmm. Oh, dope! I remember the dopey one, who was like the big baby one, kind of.
Oh yeah. So I guess we might as well talk about the attempts. So we go back to like basically multiple attempts again, like the original fairy tale. And I wrote he looked rat queen, so she turns into a queen, goes under the door to try to get to Snow White. And I was like, she's actually kind of scary, like as a rat. I was kind of surprised at how scary it was.
Secret of Nimmy.
Yeah, a little bit. It's just like, oh, this is intense. Stop it.
I guess I didn't think about it, but I can imagine if I was a kid watching this, that probably would have freaked me out.
Yeah, I think it probably freaked out a lot of kids, I bet.
I think the thing that I was focused on in that scene was just how stupid Grunion was being. It's like, he's basically just giving himself to her. It's like, there's plenty of room for you guys to keep crawling backwards. He's basically just sat just out of reach, just waiting for her to reach a little bit further and grab him.
Yeah, also, good.
I was gonna say, also in that scene, like, they only survived just because of a fluke. Like their house is about to be burned up with the fire, and it's only just because one of the doors comes back just in time to save them. Like, if it wasn't for that, they would have died right there.
Yeah, pretty much. Wasn't that the fussy one who came back for that one?
I can't remember which one.
Yeah.
They've all blended together in my mind.
One of the... Oh, I think I said dwarfs. I meant giant.
They might as well have been.
Might as well be dwarfs. the tall ones.
They might as well, instead of they might be giants, they might as well be dwarves.
Yeah.
But yeah, I forgot to mention, they did have an intro song, which I was like, cool, I'm not going to remember any of their names.
Oh, that's another thing I was going to say. Like, the songs, both in this and the other one, are very 80s. Like, you can tell this is, like, 80s songs.
My criticism was going to be they're very forgettable.
Oh, that too.
Like, I do not remember any of the songs.
I don't remember any of the songs. The only one I really remember about this one is that they repeat animation at the end for some weird reason.
Mm-hmm.
For a weirdly long time. I thought that was weird.
No, they're definitely forgettable.
I think the thing that stood out most about the songs was at the very beginning when they were playing like fake Christmas music. I was like, this is like what Hallmark Channel does when they don't want to pay royalties for real Christmas music. Mm-hmm. It's like the most generic, boring, fake Christmas music.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know if anyone stood out to you in the cast. They didn't really to me until I looked them up, and then I realized, oh yeah, I guess I kind of knew a couple of these people. The main one is Diane Pershing as Snow White Senior. She did a lot of voice work for Filmation, but the thing that I knew her from was she was Poison Ivy in Batman the Animated Series.
Well, I think I read that, yeah. But I didn't really watch Batman the Animated Series, so I didn't really know that one.
No, I had no idea. I didn't recognize her.
I think Filmation kind of, besides their films, but like they kind of have like their own stock of voice actors too, who kind of do a lot of stuff.
I noticed that with a lot of this and Happily Ever After. The one that stood out the most is Snow White Jr. was played by Erica Scheimer, who was the daughter of Lou Scheimer, who was one of the founders of Filmation.
Yeah.
She wasn't that bad.
No, she did a ton of voice work for them, so she kind of grew up in the job.
Yeah.
Interesting.
She's still alive. We can get her on the podcast to figure out more behind the scenes of this movie.
Yeah.
She hasn't really done much since the 80s, so I don't think she's really in that world anymore.
Well, who could share her memories with us.
Well, it's just not half bad for being a nepo baby.
No, it's not. It's
Yeah.
I believed her as Snow White Jr.
I believed that she was a child actress
Yes.
who earned her position, so there's that.
Yeah, like, for as much as I didn't really care for this, none of it was to do with most of the talent. The thing that made me not really like this is just the writing. It was boring.
Yeah, the voice acting they did what they had to do as best as they could, I think.
Yeah, the voice actors were good. The animation, while not amazing, was still good for what it was. Like, it was a cheap television special, and I thought they did a good job with what they had.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty decent myself.
Yeah, my main criticism is the writing. I thought it was boring.
I don't know. Again, I was kind of like, what are they gonna do? How are they gonna do that? I was
I felt
interested.
I kind of felt the short felt longer than Happily Ever After.
Me too.
Really? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I had to take a break during Happily Ever After.
Actually, I will say I did also.
Yeah.
I think I took 2 breaks.
That's only an hour and 11 minutes.
I know, but I was just like, I think I was almost falling asleep. I was like, I can't go on. I've got to stop. We'll come back later.
Oh my gosh, me too. But probably get into that when we get into that.
Yeah.
So moving on with the rest of the short, I don't know why I keep saying short, special.
Same thing.
Yeah, so then they do this thing, and they actually had some build up earlier where they talk about apparently they're working on like a runoff for water when the snow thaws in the spring. And Bronny, the smart grumpy one, says that they'll have to take them with them, so leave them in the house. And the evil queen thaws the snow early, so before it's ready. So basically to kind of drown them out, and they all end up living, which is like, what was the point?
The thing that in that scene that I thought the point where I was like, well, what was the point, was that when they're all like flowing down the river, Snow White is on the bank, safe, and they're like making her jump onto like an axe or something. It's like, come with us. It was like, she's on the bank. She's not going to drown. Leave her there.
Yeah.
Find her later once you get out of the water.
Yeah, it was weird. It was also like, okay, I thought they were going to do something like, oh, they're going to try to grab onto the bank or something. They're going to get out of the water. Nope. It just continues until, I guess, the water runs dry, which has to be pretty far down. There's a lot of water. And then they're safe. And it's like, okay, what was the point?
There were so many things in this that's what I thought. It was like, what's the point? It just like things kept happening.
Yeah.
Like the queen kept doing things, or Snow White did a thing, or the giants did a thing. It was like, what purpose does this serve towards the larger plot? It doesn't. I'm so bored.
Yeah. And then we get the third attempt, which is, I wrote Queen does her usual shtick. Which, yeah, she does. It's the whole fake it till you make it kind of thing. I'm going to fake my identity as a hag. I will say she's a little bit smarter in this one in that she finds a way to distract the guard dwarf. And not dwarf, sorry, guard giant. Yeah. So, good for her, but it's still not enough. Well, I mean, it is. Snow White technically kind of dies. She eats the apple.
Sniffs the flower.
Oh, sniffs the flower, you're right. Yeah, you're right. It's flowers in this. I'm getting confused.
We all eat the apple in life, don't we?
Yeah, she's eating the metaphorical apple. She sniffs the flower.
I actually thought that's what you were doing. I thought you were making a metaphor. I was just clarifying.
Drinking the Kool-Aid, eating the apple.
Yeah. No, I'm just stupid. But yeah, so pretty standard. I don't really have much to say about it. If anything, I'm just kind of like glad that they added more things back in to make it more interesting, and it wasn't all the same. Because like the original fairy tale, it's the same thing each time. It's just her disguise looks different. And this one, I'm just like, they at least attempted to do different things, which I like.
I guess in that regard, like I wasn't even thinking about the fact that these were attempts on her life. I just thought, to me, it was just the queen doing random stuff. Like I wasn't even thinking about it in terms of how this
Attempt
relates to
number
the
one.
original fairy tale
Hmm.
until the flowers happened. And then it was like, okay, now I see what she's doing. But until that point, I was just like, what is this queen doing? She's just doing random evil stuff because she's an evil queen, I guess.
She's trying to get at her. I will say I really zoned out after this because I didn't even write what happened. I just wrote Bronny is winning. He's fantastic. But I don't know what I mean by that. I don't remember.
Ronnie is winning.
He is fantastic.
I just remember her being when everyone like wakes up or comes out of their frozen state, and I was like Jonathan thinking like who's gonna kiss Snow White Jr. to wake to save her, and then it just turns out to be a tear from was it her mother I think that fell on her and that woke her up.
I didn't even understand why she woke up.
Oh, I called it. I was
It was
like,
like a
it's
Lilo and
gonna
Stitch too
be,
kind of thing.
it's gonna be your parents' love. I knew it.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I thought, but I wasn't sure because they didn't really say it. I don't know.
I don't know. I thought it was obvious myself, but
I
yeah.
mean, it probably was. I just overthink things, and did so many random things. I was like, it just felt like a random thing because so many other things had been so random in this special.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was thinking it was going to be Grunion because Grunion had been so pointless for this whole thing. I was like, he had to have been here for a reason. So the reason
I
is going to
wouldn't.
be that he's going to
I
kiss her
wouldn't wish
alive.
Runyon true love with Snow White Jr. He deserves better.
Oh man.
Grunion should come along to the next special, and he could be one of the dwarf elves' husband.
Grunion, I don't even remember their names.
Yeah. Runyon wasn't bad. He was just pointless. So yeah, he was better than some of the Giants, to be honest.
Well, I will give him that because I don't even remember half the Giants' names, and I put them in my notes. But even the fact that I put them in my notes and I still can't remember them should tell you something.
Yeah, I would say only like two of the Giants were. Oh no, three. Three of the Giants were even noteworthy. So
I remember Hicker and Brawny.
And Smart Guy.
I think that one was Thinker.
yeah, I remember the smart guy, and I remember the fussy guy, but I don't remember their names.
Yeah.
Just Brawny, who is the important one.
The names I have in my notes are Thinker, Finicky, Corny, Tiny, Hicker, Weeper, and Brawny. And I only have that because they were online. I didn't remember that from watching it.
Yeah, my last note is Brawny's the sweetest. He made the castle, which he does. I already mentioned it. And that's it, really. It's just a tribute to how amazing Brawny is. He's the
Snow
best
White
thing in the
Christmas.
special.
Brawny
Yeah,
story.
Brawny's origin.
Brawny's origin.
He is behind Brawny towels. That's
Yes.
yeah. Tough but caring. Anyway, I don't have anything else to say about it. I did say I was its defender, but like I don't mean it as I'm gonna wax Luther like poetic about this special. It is what it is. But I did enjoy it more than I thought I would.
Well, that's good. I'm glad one of us did.
Glad one of us did too. Yes.
I don't really know why I expected this to be better than it was. I
don't know why.
I shouldn't
it's
have.
mediocre
Like it's been
TV
forgotten
special.
for a reason, I think. But
Yeah.
like I have no idea why I expected this to be a hidden gem. It certainly wasn't. I think I did go in with too high expectations, and I have no idea why I went in with too high of expectations.
I don't know. I did think it was kind of a hidden gem, but again, I had zero expectations.
I think for some people it would be. Like obviously you liked it better than
Yeah.
us, but I think for people who probably grew up with it, I think they will like this. It has a vibe, and I think that if this vibe appeals to a certain type of animation fan, I think they will like this. I mean, same with Happily Ever After. It has a vibe, and if you're into that vibe, then you're going to like it. Like, for me, it's not the vibe is secondary to the story. Like, if it had a better story, I would like it no matter what
See, that's
style it
interesting
was
because
in.
I feel like the story, if it could be, the story could be adapted to me to be like an actual movie. It just needed work.
Yes.
Like I thought it was kind of interesting how close it was to an like interesting movie story.
There were moments throughout where I was like, okay, this feels like it could be something, and then it would go back to something random and dumb.
Mm.
Like, I
Yeah,
did like the
it has
Queen.
potential.
Like the part where she woke up, I thought that was well done.
Yeah,
I thought that there was going to be more of her with the vultures because I did like their dynamic, but there kind of wasn't. They were just kind of following her for the whole thing. They didn't do a whole lot except follow.
It didn't seem like she owned them.
No, she didn't even like them.
Yeah.
That was the part that made me laugh was she was like trying to get rid of them by zapping them.
Hmm.
well, I don't know if I have anything to say about it. I think I
No,
would only
that's
recommend this if you're into like vintage TV, children's media. You know, if you like Hanna-Barbera, Rankin Bass media of that time.
yeah.
Other than that, it's a pretty easy skip. You're not missing much except for Brawny. Um, but even I can't recommend watching this purely for Brawny.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
main thing that I can say about this is it has a vibe of the era that it was created in, and if you like that vibe, you'll get some enjoyment out of this. But even then, there are better specials from the mid to late 70s, early 80s that I think are more worth watching than this. So,
Do they have Brawny?
No, that's the
No,
good point.
and they don't.
oh, I should mention too. One of my biggest disappointments at the end. I thought there was going to be a kaiju battle because she summoned all these giant demons, and then it was
Oh, I forgot
Hicker
about
was
that.
like hiccuping and like he
Oh, that's
made
what it was. Hiccup killed the demons with the
yeah. It's like
with the
I thought there was going to be a
hiccups.
kaiju battle, and I was like, okay,
Oh yeah,
finally something great, and then it wasn't.
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Death by
I
hiccup.
didn't want to remember that.
Yeah, for me, like I said, I didn't enjoy this, but it was like it is what I expected it to be. So like I wasn't disappointed. It was like, yeah, this is what I expect this movie to be, and yeah, I wouldn't recommend it for anyone unless you're like a completionist and like you want to watch all of the animated television specials that came out in the 70s and 80s, and just to check it off a list. Then I would recommend it. Besides that, I think you're good skipping it. Jenna will make a montage of Bronny and put it on YouTube, and you can just watch all
I'll
the
put like
Bronny
a little
scene.
tribute. Yeah, that'd
What
be
do they
fun.
call those things that they do with like K-pop stars? Like they make a montage, a fan cam.
Oh,
Is that what
what?
it is? You could do a
I don't
Bronny
know.
fan
I'm too
cam.
old.
Yeah, I
Too
don't know
old
what
for
it is
that.
either.
Fan cam? Is that what it's called?
I think so. I'm not
Yeah,
100% sure.
We're
I'll
just
look
three
They-
old
into
guy
that.
people right now.
Yeah. And like in the middle of the fan cam will just be like Ronnie towels. Yeah.
That would be a hilarious idea. Did you just a random loving montage with like hearts floating over it of this random
Mhm.
character from a 1980s Christmas special?
Yeah,
Everyone will
yeah.
you'll gain resurgence, and everyone will want to know where they came from, and we'll be like, oh, a Snow White Christmas, and then everyone will watch the movie, will watch it, and it will go high on the charts again, and
And then they'll
it'll
make
get
a
a DVD
remake.
release and everything.
Yeah, they'll make a remake and Bronny will be like the main person in it. They'll be live action, you know what it is.
Played by Chris Hemsworth.
If Filmation was still around today, I bet they would be all in on the live action remake trend.
Who?
Yeah, they would. Oh my
Filmation? Oh
god, they would
yeah.
be so annoying about it. They would be worse than Disney, and that would be hard.
Well, DreamWorks is getting into it now, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, yeah,
Mark my words, we're getting a live action Shrek sometime.
That's literally what I was just
yeah.
thinking.
Yeah.
But who will play him?
I guess if they make one adaptation of the musical, like I guess that makes sense. But
I was like,
besides
there's
that,
already a musical.
yeah,
I did think of like I guess this going back to the special, it would be interesting also if you're like into unique takes on fairy tales, if you like find the idea of a spin-off kind of interesting, or
Yeah, I was about to say
sequel.
that is Jonathan.
That is true, but also
Yeah.
I am that person, and I thought this
That's
was boring.
Jonathan
So
I don't know. I feel like I feel like that could still be interesting to someone. Just don't have any expectations.
that's true. Go into this with low expectations, because for whatever reason, I thought this was going to be better than it was.
Yeah, I don't know why you would think that.
I
But
don't either. I ruined
yeah,
it for myself.
you robbed yourself of the joy. So yeah, and that said, like I liked it, but I'm probably never gonna watch it again.
But Jenna, did you like this more than the Once Upon a Time in Wonderland or whatever it was called?
I did, yeah.
What? Oh, okay, that just hurt. All right, never mind.
Look, when I watched Once Upon a Time in Wonderland, it was a bunch of me just being like, a genie in Wonderland.
Oh no, no,
So
sorry, not Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. The
yeah,
the
yeah.
the Twas the Night Before Christmas in Wonderland.
Oh, that one.
Yes.
Oh, that's a hard question.
Haha.
I think I would still prefer to this one, yeah.
Oh man.
Sorry, it's not in rhyme, so that's kind of a win for me.
All right. I'll enjoy that one then. By
All right.
myself.
These obscure specials or movies, whatever, animations need people to appreciate them. You'll appreciate that one. I'll appreciate this one.
There we go.
Yeah.
Diplomacy. It sucks.
It's more like a custody arrangement, but yeah.
Yes.
We have to find one for Jonathan.
What does Jonathan like that we don't? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to do some research. It also has to be Christmas related and slightly obscure.
Yeah, we'll have to come back to that because I can't think of anything.
People, leave your recommendations in the comments.
In comments below.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think we've said all there is to say about A Snow White Christmas. I think we've
Yeah.
said more than I expected we would say, because when I started this, I thought this is going to be like 15 minutes. I can't imagine we're going to have that much to say.
Now, Jenna took good notes.
I had a lot
Jonathan,
to
you didn't
say.
expect any one of us to like it, so that's why.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Well, we will be back probably in a couple months for Happily Ever After, the other Filmation Snow White movie. But until then, would you guys like to let people know where they can find you if they'd like more from you? Jenna?
Yeah, sure. So I won't be in the Kingdom of Noel. I'm going to be on YouTube, Phantomize on YouTube, and Love Gets of a Fairy Tale on YouTube as well for my non-Alice related things.
And Mark?
You can check me out on my blogs, The Animation Commendation at theanimationcommendation.com, and also my live action Disney project at myliveactiondisneyproject.com. Due to work being very busy, I haven't updated them as often as I would like, but keep following me there. I'll update them when I can. Thanks.
Okay, well, we will see you soon for more cheap 80s Snow White.
Oh gosh.
Oh, goodness.
Thanks for listening to Every Version Ever. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe and follow my co-hosts as well. My Linktree and all of our links will be in the description below. If you want more of my content, all my podcasts are available on YouTube as well as most podcast platforms. If you enjoyed this show, check out one of the other podcasts or check out my Patreon for bonus and extended episodes you won't find anywhere else. We'll be back soon with another brand new episode, so thanks for listening and we'll see you next time.